Hello, everyone. It's Buddy the Elf coming at you with the message on holiday selling. I'm super excited to give this message because this is my favorite time of the year. I love it as much as I love anything else. And I'm excited to share my excitement with you guys today. So let's talk about holiday selling and how awesome it is. First things first, when I think about holiday selling, my favorite holiday, because I like to eat food, is the holiday of Thanksgiving. You know, what do people do for Thanksgiving? They eat all day long, multiple meals over multiple days. They cook all day. They are using our product. It's top of mind. It is their favorite time. It is our favorite time to sell a lot of Cutco too. We're spending time with family. People are traveling and people are just spending a ton of money. And then what happens after that? The very next day, what do people do? They line up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning in the freezing cold, by the way, it's freezing during Thanksgiving, Black Friday. And they see who can spend their money first to get it in the store, get the doorbusters deals. And then they're spending money all day on all the specials. And then what happens after that? Small Business Saturday. That is the next day. And you get free TV commercials. You get free radio ads. You are a small business and the government and all companies are promoting shop small. That's you. Then what happens after that? Cyber Monday. What do people do on Cyber Monday? They buy online. I can't even tell you how many times I've been on Amazon over the last few weeks. Guess what, everyone? We sell Cutco online. It is a win-win. Then what's after that? We've got Christmas. Oh my goodness. Christmas is my favorite time of the year. Christmas, we've got gifts, we've got cooking, we've got food, we've got family, we've got travel. Guess what? This all adds up to in America. I want you to write down this number. $188 billion in holiday shopping. That's what was shopped in America last November and December. Americans spent more money last holiday season, November, December specifically, than ever before in the history of ever. And using the internet, buying online is the way in which they did it. Holiday sales grew by 32% and exceeded $188.2 billion. By the way, Christmas Eve, $1 billion in sales. Cyber Monday, $10 billion in sales. That doesn't get you excited. I don't know what does. After that, by the way, after the holiday season, got another stat for you. People return a bunch of stuff. 41% increase in returns in 2021. Or in 2020, sorry, well, right after the holiday season. So people return the stuff they don't want. And guess what they do with the money that they get from the returns? They buy the stuff they actually want. By the way, most companies give out year-end bonuses or things like that to their people. And there's more money even being spent right after Christmas is over. And then what happens? New Year's. Oh my goodness, New Year's, one of my favorite holidays. All the holidays are my favorite holidays, of course. But New Year's, what do people do for New Year's? Well, they make New Year's resolutions. And you guys know what the number one New Year's resolution that people make every single year is? Get fit, get healthy, lose weight. And guess what we sell? A product that's going to help them with that. All this stuff gets me so freaking excited. And yes, I wore this last Christmas to a Christmas party. So I will be wearing it for most team meetings on my team moving forward as we get excited for the holidays. This could not be a better time. This is the setup of all setups for you as a rep. No matter if you're brand new, start it 2 weeks ago, started here this summer. If you're at MIT or if you've been here a few years, this is the time. This is our time. This is our season. So what I'm going to do in this message, I'm going to go over some keys to helping you maximize the holiday selling environment and make more income, get more experience than you've ever gotten so far in your career with us, okay? So let me go over these tips, and I do have a handout I'm gonna drop into the chat box. So you can get that at the end of the message here. But for right now, you can jot down some of these basic keys. So the first key to holiday selling is preparing a holiday advertising campaign. So what does that look like? What you want to do, for those of you guys who are representatives who's worked with us for a few months, you want to go to Vector Connect, download a list of your past customers that you want to advertise to. Because if you're not advertising to them, guess what? Every other company is going to be. And if they're not spending your money with you, guess what they're going to be doing? They're going to be spending their money with somebody else on a product that's not as good as Cutco, right? So the first thing you do is download your list of past customers. You can go to my account on Vector Connect, click on customers. There's two things you can export. You can export a list of labels where they'll send you, they'll actually pull out, like print off labels for you that have every single customer's name and address. So you can send holiday letters. They'll also send you, you can print off a list of emails. Okay, you can pull up an Excel spreadsheet with every customer's email on there as well. So there's two waves of the holiday advertising campaign. Wave number one is, and this is what you want to do the very first week of November. So that's in two and a half weeks. You want to send a holiday email to all your customers, okay? Sending a holiday email takes about 5 seconds. I'll give you a couple tips on a great email here in just a second. The second thing you want to do, and this will be done the second week of November, is you want to send out holiday letters. There's nothing more powerful than a customer getting an actual envelope at their house from you. They will open it. Okay, they will see it. You will now go from something that they forgot about in the summer to top of mind awareness. So that's what you want to do the second week in November. And then the third step, and probably the most important step, is doing the follow-up calls. Every person that you send an email to, every person that you send a letter to, you want to do a follow-up call to make sure that they got the letter and ask them if there's anything that they would like to order for gifts for themselves. Follow up on the wish list they were looking at during the summer. We all had people that were like, hey, not now, call me at Christmas. It's Christmas, it's time, right? So those are the steps. Let's talk about some keys to doing a good holiday letter. It's really simple. First things first, you give your customers an update on what's going on with you. Now you can make this very general. The way this letter works is you're going to copy and paste it for every single person. You're going to print off, 50 to 100, depending on how many customers you have. All right. So the first paragraph, not too long. You just want to share with them, an update on you, where you're at school, how, the job, how you progress with the job, the position you hold, et cetera. Right. Second thing you want to do is you want to promote the newer stuff that you didn't know about. Last year, we weren't even selling the garden tools or the hunting knives and the things like the steak knives, right? So you want to represent things that either A, you just got more educated on, maybe it'd be cookware or flatware from attending events like this, or B, we just re-released, right? Your manager can actually give you an email that has some ideas on different deals and stuff that you can promote to your customers. So tell your customers that you're running specials. And then the biggest thing is creating some urgency. Okay. So this is like the fourth point on making a good holiday letter is you want to create urgency. We are having the biggest holiday sale ever. That's the line that I'd be using. Create urgency for them to call you. All right. And what I always do is I'll tell customers, hey, a lot of people are interested in placing orders of the holidays and I'm still in school. So it'll be kind of hard for me to call everybody, but the first 5 people that call me, I'll actually get a free veggie peeler for, or free cutting board, or free pizza cutter. You might not know this, but you can order veggie peelers from your manager for $6 each. And you can use those as an incentive to not only get people to call you for orders, but also get more referrals. You can give those away. When that person calls you for the order, you can say, hey, by the way, I can give you an extra peeler if you can think of 5 people I could do a presentation for this holiday season. Okay. Another thing that's really important, and this is how all sales are, is you want to give them a deadline. You want to give them a time that the sales end, December 24th, or Cyber Monday, right? If you want to create activity prior to that date, you want to have a deadline in that email. Some of you guys are qualified to do sharpenings and service. So also mention your customers that they can get their product sharpened or serviced. Okay. It'll at least get you into their house. You might've had some customers, by the way, in the summer that, you showed the product to virtually. They wanted to see something that you had, but you didn't have it on hand. And so now that you've gotten your fast start prizes, now that you've collected some more Cutco, you can go out and physically show them stuff because you'll also be in town around the holiday season. So those are all great things you can include in the email: sharpening, free veggie peeler for referrals or for calling and placing an order. All right. Urgency, a deadline, different deals. Right. And again, your manager has a template. I'll also send out a template after this event that you can utilize and copy and paste and send out to every one of your customers via email. And then also you can print, fold, put in an envelope, stamp, write their address. Actually, you get the label, so you can just tape their address, write your return address on there, and send it to every single customer. You want to do both. It's a double whammy. It's going to help you so much more if you make the email and the letter, because it's all about multiple touches. They want to see it multiple times for it to stay top of mind for them. With your letter, you just want to make it one page, maybe even a half a page, no more than that, because if it's too long, people, tend not to read it. So those are some of the keys to the holiday letter. Now, the biggest key to success is not just sending the letters, sending the emails, it's the follow-up call. You want to call every single customer until you reach 100%. Don't wait for them to call you. In my experience, they almost never call you. You have to call. You might have one or two people that calls you and they just want the peeler, right? Even though we incentivize them, most of the time they're so busy with all the things that are going on in the world, they will forget. So be a pit bull about calling every single one of them as many times as it takes to reach them. People are busy this time of the year, so we need to be persistent in reaching them, because remember, they're not spending money with you. They're spending money at Walmart. They're spending money at Nebraska Furniture Mart. They're spending money at, on Amazon, right? They're going to be doing holiday shopping. So we have to be persistent and put ourselves in front of them. That way they do their shopping with us. So that's how you set up the advertising campaign. It is a campaign. This is an amazing thing that you can say, hey, I did a holiday advertising campaign. That's something you can put on your resume as well for the future. Now, second tip. So tip number one is have a holiday advertising campaign. Tip number two is review your past customer list. Go back to who you sold to in the summer, look at what was on their wish list, and I'd send customized text messages to remind them about the things they were interested in during the summer. That's a very simple and easy thing to do, but sending text messages to customers that were interested in, hey, I want to buy that homemaker, or, let me talk to my husband, or call me at Christmas. That's like another step for follow-up, and I would absolutely do that, okay? Third key, rebuild your names list with old and new leads. Now, we're going to have lots of workshops that we run throughout the next 2 months that are going to be geared towards helping you build your names list. But there's a lot of people that you actually had on your list before that you can still call. It's really weird how it works, but names become fresher during the winter break because you haven't called them for multiple months. And so you want to rebuild your names list and focus on adding as many as you can. That way you have a lot of opportunity for demos. And that's the fourth point. Schedule when you want to do demos, not only during your Thanksgiving break, but the day that you're done with school in December. You want to know how long your break is and when you plan on doing demos during your break. Okay. So you want to make a really strong plan, whether it be one demo a day leading up to Christmas, or maybe you have 2 or 3 days a week where you're going hard on. Either way, you want to have a plan. And then the biggest and most impactful thing that's going to impact your winter break is the winter break push in January. So January is just an amazing time. When we think about January, I mentioned the New Year's resolutions. I mentioned people returning stuff and buying new stuff. But let me go over just a couple of keys why we have this push. And it's, again, the first 2 weeks in January. What we find is during the holidays, the average order is typically 2 times higher than what it is throughout the rest of the year. And the reason, you guys have probably heard this saying, people spend more money when they're spending more money. When people go on vacation, which it costs money for them to go on vacation, they spend more money while they're on vacation as well. When people are going to shop to buy something, they spend more money while they're shopping, whether it be on food or other things they weren't planning on buying. When you're in a spending mood, it's easier to spend more money, right? So you've got that with all these holidays and all these things happening, in addition to people making the New Year's resolutions to get healthy and lose weight and get in shape, et cetera. That's the number one New Year's resolution that people make. We also have a price increase that just happened for our company. So you're automatically making like 5% more anyways. It might be a little bit more challenging to get more demos, but every demo you do is actually going to be a higher average order. So it might actually take you less presentations to sell 10K. In fact, in the summer, it might have taken you 40 to 50 presentations to hit 10K. Over winter break, don't be shocked if it only takes you, 25 presentations to hit 10K. Another key is you're better at selling than what you were in the summer. When you first started in trading, those are your basic skills, and most of you guys probably had a decent fast start. And the reason why your fast start was so good is because it was kind of untampered. You had a pure demo, right? And then you went to a couple events and you started to learn new things and kind of get different ideas, and you kind of implemented a whole bunch of stuff into the smorgasbord of a demo, and it got a little bit more complicated, right? The latest version of your demo, the last demo you did, for those of you guys who started this summer, it was good, but that's just because you were more confident. But overall, it was probably pretty sloppy, okay? Now, what's cool is in winter break, you get an opportunity, if you're at MIT or want to be in management next year, you get an opportunity to actually rewatch training and remaster the fundamentals. So the thing is, you already know that people buy Cutco, but you remember when you first started in training, you were wondering the whole time, all 3 days while you're in training, you were wondering if people were going to buy from you. And then what happens? You go out and you make sales and your product conviction started to increase. Now you already know people are going to buy Cutco. You sold 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, $30,000 worth of Cutco. So you're going to start this push with conviction and a re-engagement of the fundamentals unlike anything you've ever had. And you'll be sitting in training, hearing things. And obviously your goal in training is to help out the new trainees, but you'll be hearing things and you'll be like, wow, did he say that in my initial training? I've never actually done that. And this is why our reps always get the best results during our January push, even more so than SC2, because you just have so much conviction in the product and it's the best demos you've ever done. Now, I mentioned this a second ago, but stale leads are also just stale enough. It's so weird how people you called maybe like 37 times during the summer, right? You'll call them during winter break and they'll be surprised. They're like, oh, it's good to hear from you. And you're like, I've called you 37 times, right? But it's like it's a brand new day for them. They don't remember, they don't care, right? The leads automatically refresh themselves because you haven't called them for 4 or 5 months, right? We're going to also help you add more, as I mentioned, through a series of different calls that we'll do over the next 2 months. Now, the last reason why you want to be involved in the winter break push is because your why is a lot bigger. You know, during the summer, for those of you guys who are involved in SC2, or maybe you had a chance to compete for the SLC contest, right? Those pushes were about growth and about getting a trophy, right? You guys have an opportunity to win a trip to somewhere tropical this upcoming winter break push. That's a way bigger reason than a rock. There's plenty of rocks on the beach, by the way. So you can find a rock there and engrave 10K in it. But trust me, everything else on that trip is going to be phenomenal. Okay. You got way bigger reasons. And I remember anytime that there's ever been a trip on the line, you just find a way to make things happen. I remember this was back in the day when I wasn't doing virtual demos. I was doing a lot of in-home appointments and there was a snowstorm. And I remember getting up and it was like, it's freezing cold. I don't want to leave my house. I got to shovel my way out of the driveway, but I'm still going because I'm not missing this trip. Right. I remember driving down into a cul-de-sac and parking at a customer's house and then not being able to get up the hill and having to call my mom and be like, hey, mom, come get me. And I stuck at the customer's house while she wrote down 42 referrals over the next 2 hours while I waited for my mom to come get me. That was amazing. Right. I remember one of my friends, Zane, he had salmonella poisoning. He got on the 3rd day of the trip and he still went and did all his demos. And he was like taking timeouts in the middle of his presentation and going to the bathroom and throwing up and then coming back in and saying, all right, Miss Jones, next knife is our spatula spreader. That's how it works. You find a bigger why when you have that bigger why. You dig a little bit deeper, right? We're also going to do the Alliance again. For those of you guys who are here part of the summer, it's great for you to do the Alliance again because you have a new perspective on it, right? And you'll also learn how to run an Alliance if you're running one next summer as a branch or an assistant or district manager. But for those of you guys who are newer, the Alliance, oh my goodness, it is a 2-week, it's like training every day for 2 weeks where you're going to be learning from the best of the best in our business, okay? And then last couple reasons, we got startup on the line. Think about the amount of income you can earn. Most of you guys are making 3 times as much money this winter break as what you were making this summer. So those who participate in this push, you're going to make anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 plus just in January. What would that do for your spring? What would that do for your summer? What would that do for your year? And if you're brand new, by the way, you get a chance to earn a role for the summer. Showcase yourself, right? When there's no school, and it's a whole nother ball game when you're selling Cutco, when you're in school versus when you're out of school and you have a lot more time. It is a life-changing experience. So I want to encourage you guys to just go all out this holiday season, do the holiday campaign advertising plan, which I'll drop the info for that in the chat box. Call your past customers, follow up with them, make a new hit list, get involved in the push, go all out in January, and I'll see you at the tropical destination that we go to. And no, I won't be wearing this because I'll be topless with my swim trunks on, of course, and because we're on the beach, you know. So see you later.